Liam Harper was standing in the middle of Riverside Plaza on a Tuesday afternoon, waiting for his coffee order, when he saw them, two small figures near the fountain, a boy and a girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, with matching dark curls and wide, watchful eyes. They stood perfectly still while the crowd flowed around them like water around stones. The girl's hand moved in quick, deliberate gestures. The boy answered with his own signs, his face tight with something that looked like fear. Liam had learned sign language years ago, back when his wife Sarah was volunteering at a school for deaf children. He'd picked it up to surprise her, and then kept using it long after she was gone, because it made him feel close to her memory. Now, watching these children, he recognized the signs clearly. Scared. Where is she? Don't know what to do. Without thinking, Liam stepped closer. The girl noticed him first, her eyes locking onto his with startling intensity. He raised his hands and signed slowly, carefully. Are you okay? Do you need help? The girl's mouth opened slightly. The boy grabbed her arm, but she signed back immediately. Lost. Waiting for Mom. She said stay here. Liam glanced around the plaza. Hundreds of people moving in all directions. The children looked too calm to be truly lost, but that fear in their eyes was real. He crouched down to their level and signed again. I'll wait with you. My name is Liam. The girl studied his face like she was reading something written there. Then she signed, I'm Evie. This is Max. Max didn't sign anything, but his shoulders relaxed just a fraction. They stood together in that spot for maybe 5 minutes before a woman came rushing toward them, her face pale and strained. She was younger than Liam had expected, maybe early 30s, with the same dark curls as the children and eyes that held exhaustion and something sharper, wariness, maybe even fear. Evie, Max, she said, her voice tight. She pulled them both close, then looked up at Liam with immediate suspicion. Who are you? Liam straightened, raising his hands in a peaceful gesture. I'm sorry. I saw them signing and wanted to make sure they were okay. I wasn't trying to intrude. The woman's eyes narrowed. You know sign language? My wife taught me, a long time ago. Something shifted in her expression, but the wariness didn't leave. She signed quickly to the children, and they both nodded. Evie signed something back, and the woman's face softened just slightly. Thank you, she said, though her voice was still guarded. I'm Serena, their mother. Liam nodded. Liam Harper. I'm glad you found them. He started to turn away, but Evie's hand shot out and grabbed his sleeve. She signed something urgent, her small face intense. He's safe. He is light. Liam blinked, confused. Serena's face went very still. Evie, come on, she said quietly, but Evie didn't let go. Max signed too this time. She's right. He feels different. Serena looked at Liam with an expression he couldn't quite read. Part fear, part desperate hope. You should go, she said, but her voice wavered. Liam didn't know what the children meant, but he knew what he'd seen in their eyes. He reached into his wallet and pulled out a business card from the Grief Counseling Center, where he volunteered twice a week. He handed it to Serena. If you ever need anything, he said simply, or if they do. Serena took the card, her fingers trembling slightly. She didn't say anything, but she didn't throw it away either. Liam walked home that day with the image of those two children burned into his mind. Their silent fear, their strange, intense certainty, the way Evie had looked at him like she could see something no one else could. He made dinner that night in the small kitchen he'd shared with Sarah for 15 years. The house was too quiet now, and had been for 3 years. He still set the table for two, sometimes without thinking. That night, he sat at the table alone and thought about the twins, about the way they'd looked at him, about the way their mother had looked at them. He didn't expect to see them again. But 2 weeks later, Serena showed up at the Grief Counseling Center. She stood in the doorway, looking like she hadn't slept in days. Liam was cleaning up after a session when he noticed her. He froze, surprised, then walked over slowly. Serena? She nodded, gripping her purse strap like it was the only thing holding her upright. Can we talk? They sat in the small garden behind the center, where clients sometimes want to be alone. Serena didn't speak for a long time. When she finally did, her voice was barely above a whisper. "The twins are different," she said. "I don't know how to explain it, but they see things, feel things. They've always been able to sense when something bad is about to happen." Liam listened without interrupting. "When they were 4, Max screamed before a car ran a red light and nearly hit us. When they were 6, Evie refused to let me take a certain route home, and later we found out there'd been a gas leak that caused an explosion on that street." Serena's hands were shaking. "Their father thought I was making it up, thought I was crazy. He left us, and I was relieved. But now he's back, and he knows. He wants them tested, wants to prove it's real. He's talking about specialists and researchers, and I know he doesn't care about them. He just sees dollar signs." Liam felt something cold settle in his chest. "What do you need?" Serena looked at him with red-rimmed eyes. "That day in the plaza, they felt something from you. They said you had light, that you were safe. They've never said that about anyone except me." She wiped her eyes roughly. "I don't have anyone else to trust, and I think he's going to try to take them." Liam didn't hesitate. "Tell me how I can help." Over the next few weeks, Liam became part of their lives in a way that felt both natural and impossible. He met them at parks, at the library, always in public places where Serena felt safer. He learned that Max loved dinosaurs, and Evie was obsessed with drawing stars. He learned that they both signed more freely than they spoke, and that when they did speak, their voices were soft and careful, like they were used to not being heard. He also learned that they were right about their abilities. One afternoon at the park, Max grabbed Liam's hand suddenly and pulled him away from a bench. 3 seconds later, a heavy branch cracked and fell exactly where Liam had been sitting. "How did you know?" Liam asked, his heart pounding. Max signed, felt it coming. Like a shadow. Evie nodded seriously. "We always feel shadows before bad things." Liam looked at Serena, who was pale and tense. "This happens often?" "More than I can count," she whispered. Liam started to understand the weight she'd been carrying alone, but he also saw the joy they were capable of. Max's delighted laughter when Liam helped him build an elaborate block tower. Evie's quiet smile when he drew constellations with her in the dirt. The way Serena slowly began to relax when he was around, like she'd been holding her breath for years and was finally able to exhale. Then Serena's ex-husband showed up. His name was Derek Vale, and he arrived with a lawyer and a custody motion. He was tall, expensively dressed, and spoke with the kind of confidence that came from never being told no. Serena showed Liam the papers with shaking hands. "He's claiming I'm unstable, that I'm putting the children in danger by refusing medical evaluation. He's got doctors lined up, research facilities interested. He's turning them into a case study." Liam read the documents, his jaw tight. He can't just take them. He has money, connections. "I'm a freelance graphic designer working from home. Who do you think the judge will believe?" That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about those 2 small faces, about the fear that would come back into their eyes if they were taken. He sat at his kitchen table with a cup of cold coffee, feeling helpless. Then he saw it, a small wooden box on the shelf, one he hadn't opened since Sarah died. Inside were letters she'd written to him over the years. He'd read them all 100 times, but something made him pull them out again. Tucked in the back was an envelope he didn't recognize. His name written in Sarah's handwriting, but the paper was newer. He opened it with trembling hands. "My love, if you're reading this, it means you found someone who needs you the way I once did. Don't be afraid. You were always meant to protect those who couldn't protect themselves. Look for the light in them and let them see the light in you. Trust what your heart knows. I'll always be with you. S." Liam sat in the dark kitchen, tears streaming down his face. Sarah had always believed in signs and purpose. He'd thought he'd lost that when he lost her, but maybe she'd been preparing him all along. The custody hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. In that time, Derek made his presence known. He showed up at the twin school. He hired a private investigator. He sent doctors to Serena's apartment, but he also made mistakes. Liam, working quietly with Serena, started documenting everything. Derek's aggressive behavior, the ways the twins reacted with fear when he was near, The fact that Derek had been absent from their lives for 2 years before suddenly reappearing. And Liam called in a favor from a friend who worked in investigative journalism. It turned out Derek had already been in contact with several media outlets, promising exclusive access to psychic children. He'd signed preliminary agreements with a reality TV production company. He'd been planning this for months. When Liam showed Serena the evidence, she broke down crying. But they were tears of relief, not despair. "He doesn't love them," she whispered. "He never did." "I know," Liam said quietly. "But you do. And that's what matters." The custody hearing came. Serena's lawyer, a fierce woman Liam had found to the counseling center, presented everything. Derek's financial motivations, his abandonment, the children's clear fear of him. The judge listened carefully. Then she asked to speak with the twins privately. Evie and Max were in that room for 20 minutes. When they came out, Evie was holding the judge's hand. The judge ruled in Serena's favor. Full custody. Supervised visitation only if Derek completed parenting classes and psychological evaluation. No media contact allowed. Derek left the courthouse with his lawyer, his face twisted with rage, but he left empty-handed. That night, Serena invited Liam to dinner at her apartment. It was small and cluttered with art supplies and children's books, but it felt like a home. Evie and Max were calmer than Liam had ever seen them, curled up on the couch drawing together. Serena poured 2 glasses of wine and sat across from Liam at the kitchen table. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. Liam shook his head. "You don't have to." "Yes, I do." Her eyes were bright. "I spent so long thinking I had to do everything alone. That trusting anyone was dangerous. But you showed up and you just helped. You didn't ask for anything. You just stayed." Liam looked down at his hands. "My wife used to say that love isn't something you fall into. It's something you choose every day with whoever needs it." Serena reached across the table and took his hand. She sounded like she was an amazing person. She was... Liam smiled. "I think she liked you." Over the next few months, something beautiful happened. The fear that had lived in Serena's eyes began to fade. The twins started laughing more, talking more. Max told terrible dinosaur jokes. Evie drew pictures of 4 of them together, always with little stars around their heads. Liam started spending more time at their apartment. He taught Max to play chess. He helped Evie build a cardboard planetarium. He cooked dinner with Serena while the twins did homework, and they talked about small things and big things and everything in between. One evening, Evie climbed into Liam's lap while he was reading on the couch. She signed, "You have more light now. It's brighter." Liam looked at her, his throat tight. "You brought it back." Max scrambled up too, wrapping his small arms around Liam's neck. "We're glad you found us," he whispered. Serena watched from the kitchen doorway, her hand pressed to her mouth, tears streaming down her face. That night, after the twins were asleep, Serena and Liam sat together on the small balcony, looking out at the city lights. "I'm falling in love with you," Serena said quietly. "With your kindness, your patience, the way you love my children like they're yours." Liam turned to look at her. This woman who'd been so afraid to trust anyone, now sitting beside her with her heart completely open. "I love them because they're part of you," he said. "And I love you because you showed me I could still choose this. Choose connection. Choose family." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "We're not perfect. No one is. The twins will always be different." "Good," Liam said. "Different is exactly what this world needs." They sat together in the quiet night. 2 people who'd been broken in different ways, now learning how to be whole together. Inside, Evie dreamed of stars. Max dreamed of dinosaurs. And for the first time in years, none of them dreamed of shadows. They'd found their light, and it was enough.